Good evening to all the participants who have joined us today. I'm Snehal. I'm a career counselor with ERA Foundation, Bangalore. We are here today for this webinar on the topic how teachers can help students in their career planning. So what happens is, as teachers, we all want our children to do well, to get into a really good career and to be successful. That is what all the teachers want at the end of the day for all of their students, correct? So, as teachers, let us see what is that important yet really important role we can play in students' life. How can we really prepare them? We cannot make decisions for them because we are not the decision makers. Let us see how we can empower students to take up the right choice. Correct. So I have a presentation that I will be sharing with you all today. So you can just get along with the presentation and you'll understand this topic better. Okay. So our today's topic is about how can a teacher help in career planning. This is a very important topic for all of us because as teachers, we focus a lot on curriculum, we focus a lot on a well-being of students. Correct. But when it comes to their career choice, there is some role that we all can play. As teachers, there is an important part wherein we can guide students. And today, let us learn about what are these simple ways in which we can help students in their career development and what is the role of teachers or school counselors. We have with us today some school counselors, some teachers and educators. So let us see how we all can help in students' career development. So to begin with, I will just give a brief about the company ERA Foundation, and I will just give you a brief about the work that we all do. So we at ERA Foundation, ERA Foundation, that is Educational Rating and Assessment Foundation, we are a not-for-profit organization and we are dedicated to improving the quality of education, that's secondary education and higher education in India. And we are creating social impact in the areas of education, counseling and skilling. So when I talk about counseling here, I'm completely focusing on career counseling. So we have our own career guidance tool called as Marg, and we have various aptitude tests, personality tests, interest tests, and subject-based tests. So on this multidimensional tool, we assess students and we discover their strengths. Okay, some of you are telling me that I'm not audible. Is it clear or is it the network issue? Am I audible? You can just say yes, no. So I will go ahead. Am I audible to all of you? Can you all hear me? Okay. So when I talk about career counseling here, okay, thank you all for your response. When I talk about career counseling here, we focus on students' strengths and what are the areas that students are good at, what are the subjects that they're good at, what are the interest areas. So we focus mainly on career counseling. And then we do rating as well. So when I'm talking about rating, what we do in rating is like we have the QS, we have been instrumental in bringing QS to India as well. So in India, we rate various universities, colleges, and institutions on different standards. Here we take a look at their amenities, the curriculum that they are providing, the kind of education, quality of education, what are the different facilities that they have. Based on different standards, we rate various institutes, colleges, and universities. And the last thing is assessment. When I talk about assessment, we conduct a lot of entrance exams as well. We conduct entrance exams for, again, engineering colleges and different private universities. As teachers, you all might be aware of the Comet K exam that happens in India. So we conduct the Comet K exam as well from start till the end. So we are the entire backend team that handles the Comet K exam. And this is just a brief of the work that we do at ERA Foundation. So moving on to today's topic as to how teachers can help in career planning. So let me just talk about what are the topics that will be covered in today's webinar. In today's webinar, we will be focusing on how teachers can start career discussions or advice in a classroom setting, and how teachers discussing their own career journey can make a huge difference for students. And we will also talk about what is that valuable and important role that teachers can play in students' career development. And we will also try and understand what are the skills that students learn in classroom setting that is not just that does not just help in their personal life, but moving on, it will also help them in their professional life as well. So let us try and understand what are those skills that they learn in classroom. So let me just talk about what. So while we are talking about this important topic of career planning and career development of students, let me also talk about what is a career. We all know what a career is, but before we move on further, let us try and understand what a career is. So career is nothing but an occupation or profession that one undertakes for a long period of time. So most of you here are teachers. You could have been teachers for about like 15 years, 20 years, 5 years. For a longer period of your lifetime, you have been in this profession. And you're also getting some money out of it, some monetary benefit out of it. So that is your career path. Likewise, there are some people who, for example, let's just take painting for example. There are some people who paint pictures but do not expect any monetary benefit out of it. So when there is a certain task that they do and they do not expect any monetary benefit out of it, then it is called as their hobby or passion rather than career. But if that same painter paints pictures and tries to exhibit it in various events and galleries and wants to sell it to prospective buyers, then this painting also becomes a profession. Correct? So career is nothing but a occupation or a profession that one does for a longer period of their lifetime. And they also get monetary benefits out of it. So this is just a brief of what career is. So, as most of you here are teachers and educators, this is just a self-reflection time. You do not have to answer me or answer anyone. While I'm talking about this, just think for yourself and answer these questions yourself. So it's completely self-reflection time. So most of you here are teachers, professors, educators, counselors. Okay, so just think about how did you make this career choice? How did you think that this is the right fit for me, or this is something that I want to do in my life? And while you were coming to this conclusion that yes, I want to be a teacher, yes, I want to be a professor, I want to be a maths teacher, I want to be a biology teacher. Okay, what are the questions you asked yourself as a teacher before making these career decisions? These were important decisions of your life, correct? For each one of us, our career decisions are really, really important. So while I'm talking about this, just recall the past and think about what are the questions you really asked yourself before making this particular decision. So let me just give you all like few seconds to sit back and think about this. What are the questions that you have asked yourself before you got to know that yes, teaching is the profession that I want to get into. Yes, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I want to do for many years in my lifetime. How did you really come to this conclusion? While you all are thinking about this, I also want to make this statement. Teachers are most important individuals in our society, and nothing is as powerful as the human touch in education. So, today's entire topic is revolving around how teachers and educators can help. So, as teachers, you play a really, really important role in the lives of the students. You are their role model, and they really think of you as somebody who's really influential in their life. So let us see how teachers can play an important role. And while you're self-reflecting, while you're thinking about what you have asked yourself, ask yourself these questions as well. For how many of you who have joined in today? We have 100 odd participants. For how many of you who have joined in, your job or your stream was by chance or was a last option? You were not very sure that you wanted to get into the field of teaching. Someone here wanted to be a doctor, someone here wanted to be a lawyer, someone else wanted to be a musician. But then you took teaching as a profession. How did you make that career choice? How, for any of you, was this the last chance, or was this the last option? Just think for yourself. And according to you, what is the best career that you could suggest to your students? Is there any career that is best? Can you come to a conclusion and can you tell me that yes, engineering is the best profession, or engineering is the best career? Yes, medicine is the best field. Yes, archaeologist is again a best career. Can you come to a conclusion, or can you even say that teaching is the best career? How do we arrive at this conclusion? Can we really say that a particular career is the best? No, all careers have their own pros and cons. All careers are good in a way, and they all have some challenges as well. And it completely depends on the individual who's making the choice. So we cannot come to any conclusion as to this career is the best or when compared to this. We cannot make any such comparisons. And what, according to you, is the right time or age to decide on your career? Is there a particular right age or a right time? So we have a poll coming up. What is the right time to start career planning? So is it grade 8 to 10 or grade 11 to 12? Their junior college years or their high school years? Which is the right time, or what is the right age to start career planning, or to at least start talking about various career options, opportunities, and to start exploring different careers? What is the right time? We see that it's completely fluctuating, the poll results. Let's just wait for the poll to end, and then we'll display the results. So what, according to you all the participants who are here, I would request you all to take part in the poll. What, according to you, is the right time or the right age for career planning? Okay, the poll has ended. If you all can see the poll results, 61% of you agree that grade 8 to 10 or the high school years is the important time for career planning, and grade 11 to 12 or the junior college years, 38% of you agree that this is the right time or right age. So if I have to give my view or thoughts about this, then as we are doing this entire test and as we are counseling students, we really recommend all of you to start this career exploration talks or to start career planning while students are in their high school years or between grade 8 and 10, because not all students study in the state syllabus board or CBSE syllabus board. Some of them are studying in the IB curriculum or ICSE curriculum, wherein students have to choose their streams at 8th grade, correct? When that is also an important part of their life. So starting this career exploration or career planning early really helps students. So I would say that grade 8 to 10 is the right time to start this conversation. And yes, the question that we all were revolving around, how did you make a career choice, or how, as a teacher, how did you come to a conclusion that, yes, this is the right choice for me, and this is how I chose to be a teacher. So I hope you all have thought of these questions and have some answers for yourself. Okay, let's leave that there and just moving on to the most important topic of today's webinar. Okay, so today we are going to be focusing on what role can teachers play in students' career development. Like I've already told that as teachers, you all influence the learners, you all influence your students in one way or the other, and you all play an important adult role model for all of these students. Correct? For all of your class students, you all are a role model for them. So as their role model, what are the little things that you all can do? So first and foremost, I would request you all to ask your students or to inspire your students to study your subject beyond classroom. As teachers, while you're teaching them, you try to cover whatever is in your curriculum and whatever you are aware of. You try to cover anything that you are knowledgeable about any particular topic. So if we just take digestive system, so you will teach them whatever is there in that particular topic or in your textbook, and you will also tell them what do you know apart from the curriculum. So how else can you inspire your students? If you know of any other educational videos that students can go and access, if you know of any journals or any student magazines that students can read and get more information about, or do you know of any websites that student can access to get more information about this topic? So at any point in time, whichever topic, whichever subject that you're teaching, try and inspire your students to study your subject beyond what is there in their curriculum. Although you do some practical classes, theory classes, try and inspire them to do try and inspire them to study beyond what's there in the textbook. Okay, this is one way that you can help or you can guide learners about their career. And the next 2 points, talking about jobs related to the subject and talking about the relevance of your subject to the wider world of work. This is a vast topic, so I'm covering it in the upcoming slides. We'll just leave that point there. I will brief you all about this and cover it in the upcoming slides. And also direct your students to useful career resources. Career resources here again are various books, magazines, websites, journals, any student groups or any teacher groups that they can be part of and gain much more information and knowledge. So whatever resources that you know of as teachers that is going to help students in their long run, please direct them to these resources as much as possible. If you know of any short-term courses, if you know of any small summer camps or winter camps that can really help students in their extracurricular activities or in gaining more knowledge, anything that is going to be useful, direct them to these different resources. And one more important aspect while talking about students' career development is, as teachers, discuss your own career journey. When students see you in the class, they just see you as a teacher and they think that yes, my teacher prepares for the class, he or she comes and teaches me, and they do some theory and practical classes, but they are not really aware of what are the other tasks that you all do as teachers. Apart from teaching, there are different roles and responsibilities that you play in a school or a college setting, or even in a university level. You have different roles and responsibilities. So please discuss your own journey with your students. How did you start? So after your 10th, which is the stream that you chose? And after your 12th, which is the graduation course that you took up? For you to get into this particular position or to get into the field, what were the master courses that you did? If were there any diploma courses that you took up? We all know that teaching requires B.Ed and NET exams and all of that. So tell them some information about how you enrolled for your B.Ed classes, or how did you do your NET exam. And if you are someone who's gone ahead and studied further, if you've done your PhD, please share your experiences there as well. And there could be some of you teachers who have changed different schools and different colleges over a span of like 10 to 20 years. You might have changed different institutions. So also discuss about what was your role in that previous institution when compared to this particular institution. What do you do? So discuss with them. This might take you one whole class, but make sure you discuss with them about your entire career journey, because it is important for them to know. It is like a really realistic example that you are giving them. They will also be aware of various courses, they will also be aware of various institutions, and they will get a really good idea about this entire profession. And also, all schools and universities have alumni. You all have your alumni meets, alumni groups. So we have our former students who might be in a really good profession, or might have started their own business, or could be entrepreneurs. They might have achieved different levels, correct? So if you know of any students during the alumni meets or during any different meets or any different events, try to invite former students or any of your senior students to come back to your school or college and discuss their story. Ask them to discuss their career story after their school or after their college. What did they do? What inspired them to be in the position that they are in today? What is the job that they're doing? Again, talk about what are the roles and responsibilities. And if we have college and university professors here, you all have placement cells, and you have all have different companies coming to recruit students. So while any company or employers come, ask them to give a brief about their company. What is that particular company into, and what are the different job roles are they hiring for? These are some of the information that children need to know, and this is how you can do your bit. And at any point in time, if students ask you any questions with related to their career or any concerns about their future, respond to them in a very encouraging manner. Even if you do not know the answer for it, or if you do not know about it, try and research and get back to them in a week or so. Tell them that you'll get back to them. Don't leave them hanging in there. So as much as possible, try to give them all the resources and all the information that you can. So these are some simple ways. Moving on, I will be talking about how you all can really talk about jobs related to your particular subject that you are all teaching. So while you all teach different subjects in a school setting or in a college setting, let us see how you can link these subjects to the world of work. While you're discussing any subject, it is important that you tell your students that how this particular topic or how this particular process is going to come to use in their future. So while you're talking, let me just give you like few examples while I'm talking about this particular topic. So if you're a science teacher, if you're discussing any particular scientific process that is used in the field of research or any industry, then highlight about why this process is important and where is it really used. So while you do this, students are also very enthusiastic to know and learn more about that particular topic. And they're also aware of that, yes, this is going to help me in my future as well. So if you are an English teacher here, similarly, if you are talking about any, it could be any topic in your English grammar, or if you're covering anything related to English literature, just start a topic about publishers. What job do publishers do? And you can also talk about the field of journalism, about writing in the field of journalism, writing not only just for newspaper, writing for different websites, content writing. You can bring there are like vast number of careers in the field of journalism itself. So you can talk about its use, and it's not just for English teachers, for any language teachers, you can link your subject or you can link your topic to the field of journalism and to the field of writing. Content writing and content marketing is growing these days. So you can also talk about how students can go on to become content writers, and how writing and their language skills is going to help them in their future as well. So these are some ways that you can link your subject matter to the world of work. Moving on, if you're a biology teacher and if you're thinking of starting a topic called body systems and cells, then ask your students as to where do you think that body systems and cells, which profession or which people in which career use this particular topic on a regular basis, or they deal with this particular topic on a day-to-day basis. If they can't think of possible careers, as a teacher you are aware of it. So give them the names of these careers, let them go back and research about various careers in this field. Like if you just take biotechnologists, for example, microbiologists and laboratory technicians, all of these people deal with this particular topic of body system and cells, correct? On a day-to-day basis, this is the kind of work that they do, and most of their work revolves around this particular topic. So if you just give them the names of the professions, and if students are really interested, they themselves will go ahead and research about it. And if you are a physics teacher, while you are introducing a really simple topic about electricity, talk to them about why this topic is really important, and people in which profession or people in which career deal with this particular topic, and how do they work with this particular topic on a day-to-day basis. Electrical engineers, electricians and energy engineers, all of these people deal with this particular topic on a day-to-day basis. We see that a lot of electricians, they work around this particular aspect itself. So please try and link your topic or your particular subject to the field of work as much as possible. Try to think of different ways that your subject or your topic is going to help them in the future. Okay. Okay. So while we have spoken about how you can link your topics to the world of work, let us see in classroom there are different skills that students learn, and that is not just at their classroom level, and it is not only useful for them in their personal lives, but moving on in their professional life and in their career as well. These skills are really important. So let us just look at few skills that they learn from, like, really simple activities that they do in class, and the kind of skills we can relate to. So if you see that a child is being very enthusiastic, and whatever assignments you're giving that child, this child is really completing these assignments and lessons on time, and whatever tasks is given related to your subject, this child is also on time and finishes everything. When you see that a student is doing everything on time and is always willing to learn, you can, like, think of skills like self management. They can really manage all the tasks by themselves. They are independent, they are motivated to do these tasks by themselves without even parents push, and without even teachers like pressurizing them or giving them that push. They themselves are interested and they complete all the lessons and assignments on time. That's again motivation, one of the skill that they learn. And they have a positive attitude, they are really willing to learn, and they are positive about what are the topics that you're teaching, and they are willing to learn. So these are some skills you can just relate this small example, from this small example of a student doing his or her homework on time or assignment on time to submitting everything on time. From just this particular small activity, you can think of these important skills, and employers also look at these skills. Employers, any people who are hiring, and employers who are hiring, want people to be manage themselves, want people who are motivated, and want people who are willing to learn. And while uh, while you're engaging students, like, just think about any team activity. You give them a group activity or any different sports or team activity. What happens? You ask them to debate, or any activity that you give, they all come together, 5 6 boys and girls, they come together, they all get involved, they all discuss, and they debate their ideas. So what are the skills that you see while they're doing this? You see that they all are together as a team, there is team working skills, and they all are improving their communication. They know how to agree or disagree with the idea, and they're all discussing about any particular idea. So you all know that just with this group activity, or just with, like, gathering them for any different task, they all improve their communication skills, and they all improve their team working skills. And communication and team working skills are again important in their professional life. It is important for their future, and most of the employers want people who are good at communication. They want people who can work well within a team. And let's take one more example. So there is this student who was not doing really well in your subject, but has improved over a period of time. Even if you see, like, some 5% of improvement in their grades, or even if you see that this student is putting in effort and showing some interest, you can make out that this particular child is resilient, and this particular child is willing to learn. These are again skills that they learn in classroom. And resilience and the willingness to learn, these are again skills that employers also look for while they are hiring students. Correct? So these are like simple things that happens in a classroom setting, and if we really observe, these skills are going to help students in their professional life and in their future as well. So this is how we can link skills developed in classroom to the to their future and to their professional life. In the same way, if you want students to improve more skills, try to engage them as much as possible in extracurricular activities, in team activities, in debates and discussions. By all these activities, they can really improve their skills, and all the skills that they learn during this time is going to help them in their future as well. Okay. So let me give you some activities that you can do as teachers in classroom. Like, these are again like very simple activities that you can organize for your students. First one is, just make a list of 10 different careers, 10 different interesting careers, or 10 upcoming careers, anything for that matter. Make a list of 10 careers and just write it on your class board, and then ask students to rate them as to which career are they interested to learn about. When your whole class, you're like 40-50 students, rate them, you get like top 3 or top 2 careers that most of them are interested to learn about. When you see that you have all of these careers in place, one by one take these topics and just give them a brief about this topic. This is one way. If you are willing to help them, you can research about the skill and you can bring in this topic to the classroom. This is one way that you can do this activity. One more way is, most of you teachers, you have this habit of, before even you start your classroom, you ask students to come and read a newspaper article, or engage them in a story or a moral story, or in a thought for the day, something like that. So instead of this, you can include one more activity as well. So you have 40 to 50 members or students in your class. What you can tell them is, every student has to come up with one particular career every day, and they have to give a brief about that particular career. Say some, and every day one student talks about different career brief, just like for 5 minutes. And these needs to be like some new careers, interesting careers that students are willing to learn more about. When at least they're introduced to these careers, or when they are introduced to these topics, what happens is, if I am a student who's really interested in the field of marine engineering, and we have a student who comes and talks about marine engineering and gives a brief of it, if I really like this topic, at the end of the day, when I go home, I will go and read more about this and I will try to research. So that's how we start these career discussions in classroom. These are like simple topics. These are like simple activities that you can really do. And when you have parents teachers meeting also, instead of just discussing your marks, your students' behavior, if you are a high school class teacher, try to talk about their career thoughts about their students. Have the parents decided on what stream that they want for their particular child, or have the parents and students spoken about what are the different career options? Just talk to parents about what are their thoughts, what are their thoughts about career. So as a teacher, you have spent most of the time with this particular student for like 10 years. This student is in your school and you have seen the student grow, so you also know about what interests these, what are this particular child's interest, and you also know about what skills that this particular child has. So if you know of this child's interest, or if you know of this child's skills, you can also share it with the parents, and this will help them in making better career choices. And as much as possible, try to encourage your students to research more and to polish their skill sets. Whatever activities you think will improve students' soft skills, try to engage them in these activities, and encourage students to take up classes or take up any communication classes or something like that outside school as well, and ask them to go to some short-term courses or any different camps during their summer vacations. This also helps them in improving their skills. Okay. And as teachers, the next thing that you can do is, if your school or if your college is in a particular area. So let's take school, for example. If your school is in a particular area, think of the colleges that are good in your, if you just take one city or if you take one area for that matter, think of the colleges that are there in and around your area, or think of the universities, like have a record of which are the colleges and universities that's there in and around your area. When you have the list of these colleges and universities, you can readily tell them to your students as well. If they are not aware, you can give them this information. This will help them in selecting their colleges and selecting their universities. And if a child comes to you and shares that, ma'am, I want to get into this field, and if you are really aware of which college or which particular university is good for this field, you can suggest your students also at this point in time. And if you are a college teacher, you all have placement cells, correct? In placement cells, we have different employers coming in. If you do not have a placement cell, but if you have access to different employers, if you have friends or colleagues working in different sectors, then you can introduce your students to that particular area also. If you know various employers in a field, if your student wants to get into the field of IT, and if you know people in IT, and if you know the kind of workplaces that they are in, you can suggest them these different companies also. These are some ways that you can help or assist your students in making their career choices. And if you know of any websites or any college magazines, school magazines that will give them information or college information which will really help students, then you can direct them to these particular resources also. We know that there are n number of websites these days which have list of colleges. If you just go a list of dental colleges, list of medical colleges, list of engineering, you have a whole lot of lists. So if you as a teacher, if you have gone and looked at these websites, and if you think that it has helped and it is really helpful, you can suggest these different websites and resources for your students also. And if you are a student who's willing to help, if you are a teacher who's willing to help students, or if you want to take any extra tuitions or extra classes in like areas of communication, if you are someone who's good at communication, public skills, public speaking skills, and if you want to take extra classes for students, try and engage them as well. And if you are a computer teacher, or even if you are not a computer teacher, but if you are really good at different aspects of using a computer, and if you are really good at MS Office and basic computer skills, try and teach your students these as well. Or if you know any different small centers or institutes in and around that area, you can ask students to go there as well. And as much as possible, like I've already mentioned, try and engage your students in various number of group activities and team activities. These activities will or not only help them in improving their communication skills, it will also help them in their teamwork and social skills, in building their social skills. So it is really important that as teachers, you also have some basic understanding of the colleges around you or the universities around you. Try and read more and research more about what are the trending careers. And if you read something interesting, try and share it with your students also. That's how they also learn. Okay. As teachers, as schools and as college teachers, you all take them on field trips and various excursions, correct? So what happens is when you take them on field trips, some of you might take them to a manufacturing company, some of you might take them to a newspaper agency, or any company or any industry for that matter. Before even you go for the field trip in your school bus itself, you tell your students that once we are out of this field trip tomorrow in the class, I want you all to come in front and discuss about various occupations or various job roles that you saw in this particular workplace or in this particular industry. So when you go to a manufacturing company, there are different units, different departments, and various people are working there, correct? At some point in time, they will get to interact with a lot of people. Then there are some industries, so some manufacturing companies which do not really allow them to meet a lot of people, but there will be one designated person who will come and talk about that manufacturing company or that particular industry, and who will tell them that what is this industry all about and what is the kind of work that they do, who are the people. So when you have a designated person like that, you can also ask that person to share about what are the different departments that is there in this particular industry, who are the different people working there. So if there is a marketing department, if there is a distribution department, any different department like this, who are the people working there, what is their education qualification, how did they get there, some basic information about different people working there or the different designations that they hold. This will also help students in exploring various different careers. And one more activity that you all can do in your classroom setting is, all of your students have role models, correct? They all have somebody who inspires them, who is really influential. These days, students might say that this particular person who's a social media influencer, this person is my role model, or this YouTuber is my role model, or this particular engineer is my role model, or my sister or my brother is my role model, my father. They'll give you different examples. So in one particular class, ask your students as to who their role model is. They'll give you lot of names and they'll tell you a lot of people's names. Once you have all the names, just ask them if they know the background of that person. Some of them might even say this particular actor or actress is my role model, but they will not know the struggle that this actor or actress has had over a period of time. What did they study, which acting school did they go to, how is their career path? They do not know all of it. All they know is when it comes on the TV, they are really living a good life and they're all looking good and we like their acting skills. They only focus on that aspect. But they really do not know what is their educational qualification, or which are the acting schools or acting classes that they go to, and is it available in India, which are the really good acting schools. So because most students will not be aware of the career path of their role models, what you can again do is, every day one student can share who their role model is, and while they are sharing about their role model, they have to also research about this particular role model's career path, as to what is their educational qualification, how did they become. If it is a YouTuber, okay, this YouTuber has different social media pages and this information is again available on the internet. Ask them to search about what are the courses that they have done, what did they do for graduation, and is there any extra skills that they acquired, or any different short term courses that they took up. So ask them to find out about their career path, about their role model's career path. This becomes really important. When they try and find out their role model's career path, they will it will give them a really good example, and they will really know about, see, whatever I see on TV or whatever I see on internet, it is just not limited. For me to get into this position, I need to have some public speaking skills, I need to have a particular degree, or I need to have certain skills for this job. So they will get some information about that as well. So it is really important that students research the career paths of their role models also. Okay. And one more important and really interesting thing is, most of the students watch a lot of sports event, correct? They might be watching some football event, some World Cup event. There are a lot of sports that comes up on their TVs or whatever. So when you know that it is an important sports event, and as teachers, if you are also aware about that sports event, what you can tell, and if you know that it is going to be this evening or tomorrow evening, what you can tell your students is, while you're watching this particular sports event, I want you to note down different occupations, different people that you see in this particular sports event, for you to just look at World Cup. It's not just like, if you take a cricket World Cup, for example, it's not just batsmen and bowlers. These are not the only occupation that go ahead into making this World Cup a really big event. There are event organizers, there are PRs, there are journalists, and there are reporters who report this live, who report this sports live there. And then there are ticketing agencies who distribute tickets. There are different marketing companies, and there are different ad agencies who put like TV ads and newspaper ads and all of that. For one particular sports event to happen, there are n number of people who work beyond it, and there are commentators also. So just ask your students to make a list of different professions they can think of while they are watching this particular World Cup match itself. Then there are some food stalls and like some small shop kinds also. If there are food stalls, then there are people who are cooking as well. Even that becomes a profession, correct? Then there are people who come and sell some snacks also in this event. So just ask them to make a list of different occupations or different people who are working there, and you'll be very amused when they come up with like a list of 10 or 20 different occupations. Previously, while they were watching a World Cup event, all they would focus is on the bowler, batsman, wicketkeeper, or the umpire. Now they are trying to look at various different professions that is behind making that is the people who are behind making this television program a big hit. So they will. So this is again one way of exploring various different occupations or professions. You can try it not just with any cricket, it can be any different event, any like live events that they go to. If you see any fairs, these days a lot of cities have different music shows, different events, like you have fairs and you have big fairs where a lot of stalls also come up. Once a student or a child goes to these stalls with their parents or with their cousins, anyone, they can see different people again there. So anything for that matter, just ask them to look at various careers, so they'll get like a variety of different careers and professions when they go to these different events. And as schools you all have different events that you organize itself, like your annual days, sports days, you have some English clubs, something. For every event you all have chief guests who come. So whenever this chief guest comes, we have someone from the school, a student or a teacher, who introduces this chief guest and give them a brief about their educational qualification, what they're doing. But while that chief guest is talking, just ask them to talk for like 5 minutes about their career path, about how did they really get into this path, how did they what are the different courses, or what is their educational qualification. Again, sharing their career journeys or career paths will really help students in thinking or in planning their own career. Here again, they will get different ideas. Every year you have different people coming in, different chief guests coming in. So every time you try and do this, students will get a lot of exposure, and in a way their career exploration also will become really active and strong. And in a classroom setting, what you all do as teachers is, if somebody is doing well in a particular subject, say for example biology, English, or chemistry, you pair the student with somebody who's not really good in this particular subject, somebody who's not scoring really good marks. You pair a student who's scoring high marks with a student who's not scoring not so much. So you pair these two students and you try to like make them work in a team, and you ask the student to mentor. This is what usually we do in a classroom setting. One other way that you can ask students, or you can encourage students, is try to link students with younger students. If you have a ninth grade student who's really good in chemistry, ask this ninth grade student to mentor like about 3 or 4 students in like 8th grade or in 7th grade. The student does not really have to spend a lot of time, not like every day this student does not have to sit, but whenever they have free time, and whenever this 8th standard or 7th standard student has any doubts or any clarification, wants some information, this student can go to this ninth grade student. So what happens during this mentorship is they also develop their own interpersonal and communication skills. Different class students and different age groups, students of different age group come together for one common thing, like for just studying or learning more about a chemistry concept, or for understanding a biology topic. So again, this student who's in the senior grade year, like tries to play a leadership role here. He or she is mentoring these younger students or the junior students, and this is like a mentoring or a leadership role. This again helps them in developing their own skills. And as much as possible, what you all can do as teachers is around any topic, try to ask various questions and develop some interview skills. Interview skills, like try and ask them different open-ended or closed-ended questions wherein they can respond. And any of these mock interviews on any topic, like for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can conduct these mock interviews for students, especially teachers of college, teachers who are teaching for colleges and universities. You can do these mock interviews because once they step out of college, they will be interviewing with various employers, and interview skills, that's important in interview, is also very, very important there. So try and conduct as much as mock interviews as possible. Okay. So these are like some really basic things that you all can do in a classroom setting, skills that you all see and observe that students are developing. And so let's just because we are at the end of the topic or end of today's topic, let's just see what are the key points or the key takeaways that you all as teachers need to take from this particular webinar. As much as possible, try and have guest speakers or chief guests, and whenever these guest speakers come, ask them to talk about their own career path or their own career journey. And if you are a college teacher here, try to provide internship opportunities. As college teachers, you might be having different accounts, like Indeed account, LinkedIn account, different job portals, correct? So there is also a website called Internshala where internship opportunities and all are listed. So as teachers, you can look at internships in your particular field, and if you know that this is going to help your students, you can refer your students to look at this particular links. And try and devote some classes for the study of careers. Like I said, you can include whatever activities I said in your class. If you all have like 5 classes in a week, one of the class you can dedicate only for careers or to discuss about their career and their future. And as much as possible, try to take them on excursions and field trips, because in field trips they get again like real life examples, and they know that how an industry functions, how people work there, what are their jobs, what is the kind of jobs that they are doing, what are the roles and responsibilities. And as much as possible, try to infuse career related information into curriculum, like how I already mentioned. Talk about how your subject or how the particular topic that you're talking about is going to make a difference in the world of work. So talk about your particular subject and relate it to their future or related to the world of work. And you all as school teachers, as college teachers, you all have various clubs. You all have science clubs, English clubs, all of these different clubs. So as much as possible, try to engage them in these